Books.
Hey everybody, it's Chappie here. I hope you are having a magnificent day. If not, know that it is not too late to change it. All it takes is just figuring out what it is going on in your world that is causing you any kind of stress or complications, and then make little tweaks to make it better. So, I want to tell you a story about two police officers. About 20 years ago, there were two police officers that were on a traffic stop, and that traffic stop went south very, very badly. They ended up in an officer-involved shooting. During that shooting, many rounds were exchanged between the officers and the bad guys. After the shooting was all over, one of the partners realized that his other partner was on the ground, and the other partner was on the ground screaming and wailing, saying, "Oh God, I've been shot, I'm gonna die, tell my family I love them, I'm gonna die. And so the partner ran over to him and began to render first aid. He had called for help, medical help. The ambulances, the EMTs arrive, and when the EMTs arrived, the paramedics arrived and started administering first aid to the fallen officer. They realized there was nothing they were going to be able to do for him. That officer had expired. So they turned their attention to the other officer and said, we can't help your partner. He's deceased, but we need to work on you right now. And the partner officer said, "What are you talking about? I'm fine." They said, "No, you're not fine. You have been shot several times, and we need to administer first aid to you immediately, or you're going to die." And he's like, "What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Just take care of my partner." They said, "I'm sorry, your partner's expired. There's nothing we can do for him, but we need to take care of you right now." So they went ahead and took him to the hospital. At the hospital, he underwent several surgeries. The moral of the story is he survived his injuries. But the interesting thing about this story is the officer that died at the scene actually should have survived. All of his injuries were superficial. There was not one life-threatening injury to that officer. Now here's the flip to this story. The officer that survived should have died, because he had critical, life-threatening, should have been life-ending wounds. How does that happen? How does that happen? Well, they interviewed the officer that survived and asked him, "What was going through your mind at the time of this shooting?" And he simply said, "I was not going to die that day. Period. I was not going to die that day. There was nothing that anyone could have done to me that day that was going to kill me. I was going home to my family." End of story. That was his mindset. So in looking at the story, the other officer that did die and expire at the scene, what happened there? Well, he had a different mindset. The minute he felt an impact from a bullet, he determined that his life was over. That was it. He was going to die, and he did. The moral of this story is the power of our mind and the impact that it has on our survival. Not just physical survival, but emotional survival as well. If you can get your mind right, if you can get your mind to where you understand that there is nothing in this world that can destroy you except you, then you will always be fine. You may not always be perfect. Bad things will continue to happen to you, but you will always be fine in the end, because you will be able to withstand, overcome, adjust, and bounce back. Once you have control of the mind, you have absolute control of your life. I hope and pray that each of you every day will do something something, one little thing, whether it's listening to an audio book or reading or praying or meditating or whatever it does to strengthen your mind, I pray that every day you'll do at least one thing to strengthen your mind and to be able to have the resolve and the resiliency that you need to survive anything. That's Chappie's thought for the day. I hope you all continue to have an amazing day. Again, if you're not having an amazing day, know that you have the power to change it, and no one else. There's not a single soul on this planet that can change how you feel, think, or act except for you. It's nobody's fault how you feel except for your own, because you are choosing to stay inside of that feeling. Y'all are amazing, and I look forward to seeing you here soon. Bye!